155 again, and I wanted to use this engine as it was out of a Suburban without, you know, I wanted two donor cars, which we have a C4 Corvette that's housing all the suspension on the new frame, and I have a drivetrain or an engine and a tranny out of a 2002 Suburban. So I wanted to use it exactly the way it came out of the vehicle, because I didn't want to chase down serpentine belts. I really didn't want to pay $700–800 more for a new compressor and a high mount bracket and have to deal with all that. So I had asked Russell at Nerdrods if the low mount compressor would work. He said no, not without modifications. I don't think that they ever really tried, but I was able to use the stock compressor. I bought these universal fittings. I think that's what they really call them, but the universal fitting for the low and the high side on the compressor. I was really close to the cradle as it sat. So there was a hole, small little hole, and I enlarged it, and I got all the clearance that I need for any rock in this motor. So if you look at these fittings, I'm forced to go, you know, to the front of the motor here, but that's fine. You know, this, you can drill a hole, weld that there if you want, get a 90, you know, go that way. But it's just nice to be able to use the stock stuff. I can walk into a Pet Boys or AutoZone and, you know, get a serpentine belt for a 2002 Suburban. Stuff like that just simplifies life later on. And my buddy at work, he rebuilt my rack and pinion. Once we took it apart, I sandblasted, cleaned it up, sandblasted it, and Cerakoted the body. And I got a kit from Power Steering Rebuild or something like that, and the kit was like $50, I think, to ship. And he took it apart, put it back together for me, and so I got a rebuilt rack and pinion. So today I'm going to put that in, and the front sway bar back on Tuesday, because today's Thursday. I did the rear sway bar and all the linkage, got that installed. I wanted to put the toe out bars or adjustment bars in, but the sleeve that mounts the diff was about 3/1000 too large for the hind joint, so I gotta turn that down to a lathe and get it to fit in the hind joint. Other issues with the car, I mean, like I said, it's pretty much a two-door now, but if you look from here, you can see that wowie in the upper part of that quarter panel. So that's one area I got to work on to get straight again. And then on this side's a little bit better, but there's still a little valley in the weld going downhill. Plus I got to still fit the doors and all that stuff, you know, fit them properly, get the door gaps right. But yeah, that's where I'm at on this car. And it's just kind of hard to build a car when you do it on your spare time. Spare time's getting less and less these days. Anyways, thanks for watching.
So when I marked it, the steering shaft was towards this port, the top port. Centered up. Everything's lubricated and in. Just need to start putting it back together now.
Cool. So I got the rack and pinion in and the front sway bar, and I was thinking about cooler locations. So here I'm going to build a panel that's made out of extruded material with a bunch of holes in it, or perforated material. And I was going to see if I can put my power steering cooler here and maybe my trans cooler up here in the front. just so I can have all of my cooling, you know, mounted to the frame, and you know, there's not much taking apart on the car to still run it. So if you want to look at the bottom here, that's what we got going on. Well, that'll be the next thing I make. So I got the screen roughly cut and the perimeter made around most of it. I just literally took a socket and put it in a vise and bent this all by hand. But I don't have it really lined up correctly, but that's what it's going to be to protect the cooler. So, just real quick.